Welcome to Renewed and Radiant for women over 40 who are ready to own their power, prioritize their wellness, and design a life they love. I'm your host, Elsa Martin, and I'm here for the real, raw conversations that we all crave. Whether we're talking healing, hormones, purpose, or pleasure, nothing is off the table. So grab your tea, your journal, or just your earbuds, and let's dive into the empowered, vibrant life that is waiting for you, because your next chapter starts now. All right. Yay. Today I'm excited because I have one of the most motivational people that I know. Seriously, so motivating. It just seems to exude from him. So, what better way to start this podcast than with a highly motivational person? So, from living all the way on the other side of the world, growing up in places where there was gunshots in the streets, seeing his mom kidnapped, to now living on the other side of the world, doing incredible things. I can't wait for you to hear some of his story. He's a motivational speaker. He is a director in a children's church. He is a fitness trainer. He is a mighty, amazing family man. He's a life coach, like I'm telling you. And if you ever get an opportunity to hear him speak, he's a dynamic speaker. Incredible. So I am thrilled, very excited to have joined me today one of my favorite people in the world, my son-in-law, CY Wanabe. Yay, CY.
Wow. Talking about an intro. I'm like, if that's it for the day, I'm good. Come on. That's but
It's
thank you. I'm honored to be here.
so true. It's all so true. And I can't wait to hear some of your story and just us to glean from you, because you're incredible. Like you can motivate. Seriously, I've seen you motivate 1-year-olds all the way up to like teenagers, to your family men, to grandpas. Like, it's incredible. So I can't wait to hear what you're going to share with us today, CY.
Oh, thank you. It's an honor to be here, and yeah, I'm excited to get into it. To be on the first episode, this is privilege. You better invite me on again. This seems amazing. I'm excited to witness this journey and even for like our conversations today, see where that takes us.
Yes, I'm so excited. Will you share some of your story? I just touched on that a little bit of where you came from. Will you share a bit of
Yes.
your story with us of
Yes.
how that all unfolded for you?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Nigeria. So Nigeria, it's a great country, beautiful place, great culture. But a lot of corruption, a lot of violence, especially really at the time I was there. So there's a lot of crazy stories, like you mentioned, depending on what direction we're going.
Mm.
But uh, the biggest thing I can say is the contrast in the life I've lived and the life I'm living has just created this sense of gratitude in
Mm.
terms of like, man, there were moments in my life where even having the lights on, it could be on for a weekday, it could be off for a week, it could be longer, or even being a kid and running away from dangerous situations where it was literally life and death. So there was so much contrast in terms of living. I've been very, very blessed. I've experienced. We had something called pure water, pure water. People selling like bags of water literally in a plastic bag. So that's kind of what you used to. You get pure water, you buy it up. It's like a Ziploc bag, and then you drink it. That's kind of what I was used to. Like school people outside selling pure water. So it was kind of like, oh, and it's called pure water because like it's not a good water. So that is like this pure water, like branded. Yeah.
That's amazing. You just exude motivation, and it just comes from within you. It seems like you don't work at it. You are just naturally very motivating. Do you think that growing up that way and your transition, your move, is that what brought that out in you, or what would you say has caused you to be such a motivator, someone that really spurs on and encourages other people?
You know what? It's very interesting. I think for the longest time, I didn't really see myself necessarily as a leader.
Mm.
And when I kept looking back, like reflecting in my later years now, I'm like, I've always kind of been in positions where I've led and I've been leading, but did not know it back then. What it comes down to is that it's been my upbringing. I guess for me, it's also my core. You know, there's some things people do as who they are. I believe who I am is really to lift people up, but it was also because I struggled with a lot of insecurities. Also, I think that's why I feel when someone feels insecure about who they are, identity, and what they're capable of doing, like their purpose, and just having a sense of like meaning in life, I think I can relate to that because for the longest time in my life, I struggled with a severe stutter. You know, that was my kryptonite. Like that was like the one thing that it was as if I was living a shell. I knew who I could be, but I felt like I could never express myself the way I wanted to. And that fear, like, you know, like the worst question anyone could ever ask me was, "What is your name?" And when I would hear that, I remember just like feeling like, one of my biggest fears was like, man, I was afraid to have a family one day. I was like, what if they asked me for my kid's name? And I'm looking at them like I forgot my own kid's name because I'm fighting to shoot it out of my mouth. So, you know, I've dealt with insecurity that maybe I didn't label it that. I've dealt with anxiety. Maybe I didn't actually label it that. But I think because I understand what it's like to feel held back, like you know there's more, you want to go after more, but there's this thing in you that it's almost like a, what's the word I'm looking like shackles holding you back. And you're like, I want to dream. Oh, I want to go after it, but all our limiting beliefs, all our doubts, our experiences and family dynamics, all those things are like, hey, don't forget, this is who you are, or this is what you've always done, or this is how we've always done it. So I feel like whenever I'm then in conversations with people that are allowing limitations to stop them from going after the things God is calling them to, there's something in me like, don't do it. I know I can relate. It's not right, but like there's always more and God will always make a way. So yes, you know, I feel my personality by nature, I feel called to empower people. I feel very called to direct, to help people refine their focus. I feel very called in that direction. I've kind of been doing it, but never knew I was doing it until when I'm like, whoa, this is who I am. You know what I mean? So it's kind of my knee-jerk reaction. It's like whether I'm in an airline with someone or whatever it is, it's like I can't help but to like get to know them and to see what makes them come alive.
I love that. That is so good, so powerful. And you touched on something that I really, deep in my heart, want this podcast to really help ladies with their identity and knowing who they truly are. So we have to
Yes.
go there today. We have to go
Yes,
there
we
today.
have to go there.
How do we, come on, give us all the nuggets, give us everything you can in this short amount of time. How does someone, oh my goodness, I just can think of myself back, of the time of where you feel so less than, and you don't know
Yes.
your identity and you're struggling and it's hard and it's like, I don't even know what they're talking about, or I don't even have a clue of what my identity is or who I truly am, or I've lost myself over all these years, kind of thing. And I'm so passionate about it because I was totally there, and
Yes.
I'm totally, still working through. It's a journey, right? But I just want you to just share everything you can with us about how does a person figure out their true identity, or how do we step into that? How do we
Yes.
live that purpose and that passion?
Yes. You know, it's so true, like I did like a survey with like a bunch of youths and people and really researching what are all the challenges people are faced with. Like wrote it all down. I have like a list of all these challenges. And then kind of looking at them, and then I try to categorize them. Okay, into this, whatever. And you look at the root of everything is identity. Because if we truly knew who we were, like if we truly understood the value each one of us hold, if we truly understood the purpose on our life, it will change the way we view the challenges we face. It will change the way we view life. But it is a hard question, like how do you know who you are? Because too often we cling on to titles, we cling on to things that will will build like credibility in. So like whether someone calls you a CEO, or someone calls you an athlete, or your entire life you've always done a certain thing, all of a sudden, like for a kid that maybe plays hockey their whole life, it's like you're a hockey player. So everyone, their friends, their families, their teachers, when they think about them and when the kid thinks about themselves, it's like, who are you? I'm a hockey player. Or the first question when anyone asks you, like, hey, like who are you, whatever that is, like the very first thing we want to just introduce our titles. I'm you fill in the blank, right? So, but then when what happens when that is stripped away from you? It's like that is something you're good at, that's not who you are. And when we come down to how does a person find who they are, I've tried to like, the whole self-help, like, hey, I need to get my this, get my that. But at the end of the day, this is an iPhone. The person who created this iPhone knows more about this iPhone than anyone else. It knows the potential, knows the purpose, and know what it's capable of doing. So like it's the same thing. Is that when it comes to the how do I truly know who I am? I can't really know who I am outside of who created me, outside of my creator. So the right answer is you can't know who you are outside of God, in my personal opinion. And that's absolutely true in the sense of like we can cling on to things and hold too tight to things. And when life is shifting, when the season is changing, we come in as like, does my life even matter? You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where it's like who you are, your worth. If you understood that you're a child of God first, and then everything else you do is just there are tools for you to be able to bless this world.
Yes, yes, yes. That's amazing. I love that analogy. That the something that's created. It's the creator knows it better than anyone and knows all
Yes.
its potential. The creator knows the full potential.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
amazing. That's amazing. Amazing. What could be a first step? What could be a practical first step for someone to learn or to figure out their true identity?
I think you have to stop running.
Hmm.
You
Explain that.
have to you have to stop trying to face the music. That's what I can say for the first and foremost. And you have to get to the point where you're willing to put your foot down to figure it out. Because too often we are waiting for life to give us this like almost like the mail came in today. And in the mail it reads, this is who you are, this is what you're gonna do, this is how it's gonna happen. And don't wait, once you open the door, everything you need is gonna be outside the door. Like we really want that. I trust me. If that was the case, sign me up. Someone send me that mail. That's what we
Yes.
want. But when I say you got to face the music, so there's a famous quote by Miles Monroe. It says, "Your future is not ahead of you; it's trapped within you."
Ooh, your future
In
is not ahead of you.
ahead of
It's
you is
trapped
trapped
within you.
within you. You realize that the fruit is in the seed. The tree is in the seed.
Come on.
So if I want to know who I am, it does not come from looking at everywhere else and asking everyone to tell me who I am. It means I need to get honest because I can't figure out what I do not know. I can't figure out what I'm not trying to know. And I can't go a place. So, for example, if I tell you to go to, doesn't matter any location, you need to know where you're starting from so you can create a game plan to get there. So, in a sense of when I say face the music and stop running, you have to get honest with yourself. You have to, yeah, this, you know what I mean? And you can process that whether it's with yourself through journaling, through counseling, through coaches, through other resources for you, through the Bible. It reads you, you read it, like, but you can figure it out by first processing and actually allowing your mind, your thoughts, allowing yourself to get honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Is this the life I want to live? Is this the me I feel I'm called to be? Is there something missing? Is there like how can I start changing? Like you have space in music. You cannot just figure it out, just running and hoping it hits you on the face. You know what I mean? You have to do an intentional work to get to know the real you. You need to reflect on your past. You need to reflect on your dreams, your childhood wonders. You need to reflect on your passions, your interests, like what itches you, what about society like rubs you, like you're like it's like what is the vulnerable or whatever that you can't go to bed. Like it just you know what I mean. You need to sit with it. You need to own it. You need to find the right resources to help you navigate those thoughts. Don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, you need to be honest.
Ah,
You
that
have
sounds
to be honest.
that sounds uncomfortable, CY.
Yeah, life, well, hey, there's this thing, life's not comfortable. Whenever I speak to kids, this is one thing I always mention. Life's not fair. Okay, so stop waiting for fairness.
No, it's yeah.
And it's not. And it's unpredictable, but at the end of the day, it's worth it. It's worth you knowing who you're, it's worth you like affirming the direction you're going. Like, who told you to get on this path? Like, is this just what all my family's a doctor, so I thought I'm a doctor? Like, are you happy? Like, let's don't, happiness is a joy. You know what I mean? Is a peace in what you're doing. Are
Mhm.
you excited for what's coming? So I think those things are like things to process and to never stop asking the question, to never stop discovering who you are. Because it's not this open blanket, like to never stop learning more about, again, the future trapped within you, not out there.
That's so powerful. I love, love, love that. I really believe that, and I feel like my eyes have just been opened more and more to this in the last few months. And with us just recently having a retreat and having some silent time during that, that was so
Yes,
powerful. But I really believe that that is one of the absolute worst things about social media and even
yes,
TV, is the distraction. So what it
yes,
does is or busyness. A lot of times we allow, oh, I'm so busy. I'm running, doing
yes,
this for that person, and all the things, so that we don't actually have time to sit and deal or process what's going
yes,
on and
yes,
think about all the things that you just talked about. We don't do that. And it's so easy to, yeah, spend an hour scrolling social media. How about instead taking that 1 hour and just sitting and
yes,
feeling the feels, thinking about your past, thinking about your present, thinking about your future of what you
yes,
actually do want to accomplish. What life do you actually want to design? I just firmly believe we don't take enough time to get clear on that. Like you said,
yes,
if you don't know where you are, like a GPS, right? You got to know where you are and where you want to go and be very clear on it. And
yes,
it's just easy to get distracted with other things and
yes.
not take that time.
It's important, like how can I live an intentional life? Because we don't have to try to be busy. And busy is a badge of honor. But we can be busy doing life instead of living life and
Mm,
actually moving in the direction that we're called to be. Like again, like I talked about, like there is meaning to every single one of our life. Each one of us, I believe, is like a puzzle piece that the world needs. But in order to have that clarity, and you're not gonna have clarity and then take a step forward, you couldn't. Whatever crumb you gotta take that crumb, you gotta take a step and keep learning more and keep figuring out. It's because again, like we talked about, like being challenging, and you name it's gonna challenge you whether or not you want to live a life with purpose. So you might as well live a life with purpose. You might as well change this world for better. You might as well move in and operate in the space and the lane you're supposed to be in. You might as well have joy and peace, and you might as well, because it's gonna be hard either or.
It's so true. It's so true. And I'm a firm believer too that everybody that's going to be listening to this is want to leave a legacy, and they want to
Yes,
be a good example and leave a positive, empowered legacy. So yeah, like you said, we can do that, or not. Either way, life is going to be challenging. It's going to have its hard things. But when you are living on purpose with a passion and you know that you're leaving a legacy, It's incredible. It's, I don't know if I'd say easier, but you feel so much more empowered to get through those challenging times because you have a purpose. You have your why, your deep down why propels you. Whereas when you don't have that, you're not living on purpose and passion. You don't
Yes.
have that to propel you forward. You're struggling more.
Yes, the guy that wrote the book Purpose Driven Life, Rick Warren.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that without purpose, life has no meaning.
Mhm.
Without meaning, there's no hope. And hope to us is as essential as drinking water and breathing in air. We realize that we need hope.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
hope brings meaning. And meaning affirms purpose. Like it's not just if I have it, it's okay. No, it's essential part of living because at the end of the day, it's like, what is the point? You know what I mean? So even talking about living a legacy, so often you're talking about the women that, in your group that have probably majority of them sacrificed so much for their families and over. And it's, like you know, one more, like, listen, I would say our life in a whole speaks louder than a single moment of motivating someone. Like, hey, I want you to go after. No, but what if I live my dream? I live my truth. I squeeze life of everything it has for me.
Yes.
What if I did that rather than telling you to do that?
Mm.
It changes because people are watching. Your kids are watching. Your community is watching. And you have to dare to to live a life that makes a difference.
Yes. Oh, I love that so much. So powerful. Yes, designing a life. So sitting in that, taking that time to think about, process your past, where you are right now, and thinking about your future and the life that you want to design, knowing that you're being watched, that your words, they have so little to do with it. It's our
Yes.
actions that, right, that make the
Yes.
difference. So yeah, what
Yes.
realize that you're being watched whether you know it or not. You absolutely are, and you are leaving an example. What kind of an example does each one of us want to leave? I love that. That's
Yes.
so good. And then, of course, knowing our true identity so that we can really go forth, fulfill the plans that God has for us, walk in that identity. It's a game changer.
Yeah. It's it's funny. I was speaking with a guy yesterday and I said this. There is nothing more beautiful than seeing someone operating in their gift.
Hmm.
Someone that has not just recognized, they've owned, they've crafted, they've stepped into their lane. It's like watching the ocean move. You're like, there's something in you, in us, that is like, wow. Like you see the creativity of God. You see this masterpiece where life experiences and purpose, you name it, has just merged and created such a beautiful picture. And well, you could have two responses when you see that. You could be envious or you could be inspired,
Hmm. True.
right?
Yeah.
And when you start getting to know who you are, guess what that does? It inspires you
Yeah.
because you realize that, oh, it's in me too.
Yes.
Something that draws us to when we see someone moving in their lane, like living their life, like there's something in us because we know we are a masterpiece too. We know that our life experiences, our visions, our dreams, our everything is being formed to create something so special if we're willing to take a chance, if we're willing to step forward. And so again, there's something in our eyes when we see it. It's like seeing an eagle fly. You know what I mean? It's something special. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, so true. And when you see that, when you have it and recognize it, and you see it in other people, I love your explanation. That's so good because yes, we can be envious of it or we can be excited. And when we see it in other people and we're excited, I mean, you just want to cheer them on, right? You just want to be like,
Yes.
"Go, you're doing it. Let's keep going." And
Yes.
it excites you and then it spurs you on. It's so
Yes.
powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that. And just being the example. So when you are the example of other people and the people see that, then you're spurring them on too and helping them get excited about fulfilling their purpose, designing a life that they love. So good.
Yes.
Our pastor a couple weeks ago said something that I thought was so good, that your breakthrough is my breakthrough. So when
Yes.
you work through things and are moving towards your goals, that also helps me move towards my goals, which is so powerful because we can support and cheer each other on.
Yes. It's so true. Realize like my win is not your loss, and
Right.
your loss is not my win.
Yes.
Talking about people that lived a legacy like Martin Luther King, Mahatma Gandhi, they lived a life in such a way that they dared to empower, to build, to inspire people. It wasn't about me, me, me. It was like, no,
Right.
how can we make a difference in the lives of those around us? So that breakthrough is your breakthrough.
Thank you so much, CY. Just so powerful. I would say my takeaways today are to think about your past, your present, and where you want to go. Take some time to sit in
Yes,
that and not be so distracted with all the other things around us. I would say also, number two, recognize you're being watched, whether you realize it or not, you
yes,
are being watched. And what kind of legacy are you leaving? And to know your
yes,
true identity is what's going to help you to design the life you love, to be the example that you want to actually
yes,
fulfill the plans that God has for you. How
yeah.
amazing.
Yes, and it allows you to be content and allows you to celebrate with others. That should inspire you to believe that your life absolutely does matter. And whatever you're going through right now, it's not the end. And if you find yourself in a great community, like what you're doing with the women that you are truly inspiring, not just by plain words, but by how you're living your life, that is something that again we're talking about everyone watching. You're doing that. You're taking a chance, whether it's with your business, with your health, with your family. And I think those are the things that we want real authentic, like, hey, these are my challenges. I'm not perfect, but I'm willing to live a life that truly makes a difference, even after I'm done.
Yeah, especially as you get older. I feel like I've realized that more in the last 10 years. Our time here is so short. So I want to impact as many people as I can so that they're
Yes.
still feeling the effects after I'm gone. Yeah,
Yes.
so good.
So sure.
Amazing. Okay, last thing. What is the best advice you've ever received?
Best advice to ever receive. Oh, that's a powerful question right there. It's a recent advice that I think allows the thought to keep moving forward. Just like when we're trying to sit, okay, I'm sitting, what do I want to do? More like a question that you can ask yourself to allow you to figure out like if you're really going on the right path and what does that even look like. If we were to sit and meet 3 years for you today, what has to happen for you to be happy with the progress you've made?
Oh, that's good. That's
So
really good.
think about that one because I think the honesty of that thought is not that what has to happen for you to be happy with the progress. I think when you reflect on that, it could allow you to be, it could bring clarity and like jot it all down. And the top three, you should really be going after it because
Love this.
you realize, okay, there there are things that are in here that I can't just put on a doormat like it doesn't matter. It matters.
Mhm.
So what has to happen? It allows you to like, wait a second, almost like hit that brake for a second and like, wait, am I going the right direction? Oh, okay, I think I need to turn here. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yes. Ah, that's good. I love that. I wanted to finish with a practical step. So that's it. That's awesome. Sit down, take some time, sit down and write out, where do you want to be? What's living your best life in 3 years from now? And your top 3 to 5 things that you need to do to get you there. Love it.
Gotta take action.
Yes, so powerful. Thank you so much, CY. You are amazing and you are so wise and so motivating. I thank you so much for doing this, for joining me today. It's been awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been an honor. I wish all of you listening the very best. You know, your best days are ahead. So let's keep chasing them.
Yes, amen. Thank you. Thank you for joining me today on Renewed and Radiant. I hope today's conversation sparked something in you, a shift, a question, or even a bold new intention. If you loved this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with another amazing woman. Until next time, stay strong, stay empowered, and keep showing up for yourself. Because you, my friend, are just getting started on designing a life you love.